What is an impact driver? Well, an impact driver is a tool that delivers a strong, sudden rotational force. So there is a spring-driven mechanism that applies a rotational striking blow once the torque required becomes too great for the motor alone, or really does it kind of like on a regular basis as the thing spins, depending on the mechanism inside. But the point is, it applies bursts of force as it turns. So as it rotates normally like a regular drill, but it also uses, I think usually twice per rotation, it will do a concussive impact like that, where it hits it and turns it. It hits it hits it and hits the shaft right, and it just makes it jerk forward with more torque, and that helps it while it's spinning like normal. So it just gives it more torque and power. So basically it uses concussive rotational force or impacts to drive screws more powerfully. If that makes sense, it's easier if you actually if I could cut this open and show you inside, but I'm not going to be cutting this one open. So the purpose of an impact driver, it can be used to tighten screws with more torque than a screwdriver can provide. So it is better than a drill for tightening bolts, and it can be used to loosen larger screws, bolts, and nuts that are over torqued or corrosively frozen, right? Anything like that, anything you couldn't get undone by hand or with a drill, this is a good tool for that. It's excellent for driving long screws or lag bolts into tough material, and it is great for long or dense materials. So it's also great for reducing or eliminating cam out, which is basically where where your bit will it'll basically come out of the slots, and a lot of times that results in like stripping the bit or stripping the screw, which you don't want. So it helps eliminate cam out, and it's generally that's generally going to be a problem with Phillips head screws and Robertson square socket head screws. So it prevents cam out with those. And this also, usually these have a quick bit change, so quick one-handed bit change. And with this one in particular, you can just go like that and change the bit, right? So it's hex shank, right? You can just pop it right in there and pop it right out. Whereas with a drill, you're going to have a chuck where you have to like rotate it and have three things come in and hold it in place. So it's a bit different there, right? So that's one common thing with this. Quick bit change, you can use like screwdriver bits or sockets like the one you see on here now. I have a socket on there right now. So that's another convenient thing you usually find with an impact driver. So one thing to note, there do exist manual impact drivers, basically hand tools that are struck with a hammer. So you would hit it with a hammer and it provides that concussive rotating force, but we're not talking about those here. In this video, we're only talking about power tools only in this video. So compared to a normal drill, the impact driver is going to give you more torque, and usually it's going to be more compact, often smaller and lighter than a drill with a shorter head, right? It's going to be less versatile. You normally just use it for driving, not also for drilling. A regular drill driver, you use it for driving and drilling, right? So this is less versatile, but more purpose-built just for driving things, right? So it's harder. The impact driver is going to be harder to control for beginners, supposedly, but it should give you less strain on your wrist. Now the bit type. So the other thing is bit type. So as we mentioned, we have hex here, and this only accepts 1/4-inch hex shank bits. So not standard round drill bits, which you're not going to be using this to drill anyways. But a regular drill driver has this round thing, so it doesn't only accept hex bit, but it accepts either hex or round, right? So you rotate this, these things come in and grab onto it, right? So this guy right here, quick release. So push this out, quick release, and hex bits. That's a common difference between an impact driver and a regular drill. You have your quick release hex bit only, 1/4-inch, whereas this one takes more sizes and it adjusts more and can take round or hex, right? So another thing, less effort required by the user. So even though they say harder to control for beginners, it's going to be less strain on your wrist and less effort generally for the user. So this is not ideal for precise drilling, and realistically, an impact driver should not be used for drilling in the first place. You could if you wanted to, and it's all you have, but it's really not the right tool for the job at all. It's not meant for that. So there is going to be no variable speed or clutch to control the torque for delicate work. So normally with this, you have two different speed modes, and you have different torque modes on this, right, for delicate work. Now, one thing you can control, the trigger on this, depending on how hard you pull it, will control the speed. This one does have speed control, depending on how much you pull it. It's just not as much control as a regular drill. So impact driver, less control, not as good for precise, delicate work. So it's only for driving, not for drilling, and it's generally going to be louder than a regular drill, so more noise, right? Now, the other thing you might want to compare it to is a hammer drill. So move this guy aside here and move this over here, and let's compare this to a hammer drill. So we're going to go ahead, you know what, I'm going to take the battery off this so I can fit them both in the frame at the same time. A little bit easier there. Now, hammer drill, so you see they're a little bit different in size and weight and stuff, but all right, so I'm still not focusing on both of them that well. I'm going to put this over here, right? Impact driver, hammer drill, right? And this whole handle's kind of getting in the way of my camera. All right, so compared to a hammer drill, an impact driver's motion is going to be different from the hammer mechanism found in a hammer drill, which is a longitudinal blow. So impact drivers do rotational impacts. So as it's rotating, it also has these rotational impacts that give it like quick jerky motions that help it push through things, but it's a rotational impact. Whereas the hammer drill, it's a linear impact, hammering in and out as it rotates. So just different mechanism. They work a little bit different. You're going to have higher torque on the impact driver as opposed to the hammer drill. So you're going to have lower torque, higher torque, right? So higher torque there. And so this is going to be generally used for driving stuff as opposed to masonry drilling like concrete, stone, or brick. And, this is way more versatile. This can be used for driving, regular drilling, and hammer drilling, whereas this one, just driving and you don't have the torque control. So that's basically that's the main difference there, I guess. So impact driver has a 1/4 inch hex shank, and it only has the quick release as we showed you before when we compared it to a regular drill. But an impact driver has a similar chuck to a regular drill, right? It takes a round drill bit or a hex or round, and it has a wider range of sizes, whereas this one is just 1/4 inch, right? So compared to, all right, so that was your hammer drill, comparing your impact driver to a hammer drill. So you should know the difference between those now. Now, comparing this to an impact wrench. Now, I don't have an impact wrench on me for this video at the time, but comparing an impact driver to an impact wrench, it typically it accepts smaller tool bits. So these bits are going to be smaller. An impact wrench is going to accept bigger tool bits, and this is going to deliver less torque. Even though it's more torque than the other tools, it is less torque than an actual impact wrench. So an impact wrench is going to be more torque, and this is more going to be for driving smaller screws instead of larger nuts and bolts, like really large nuts and bolts. I think oftentimes used in like automotive stuff, you're generally going to have like your impact wrench. So it's a little different. So hopefully this gives you a better idea of what an impact driver is, especially in comparison to other similar tools. So you might want to go check out the related video that you should be seeing on the screen any minute now. Might already be there. You might have to wait a few seconds for it to pop up. There's going to be another related video. You're going to probably want to check that one out too if you like this video. And also, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, because we're covering a lot more great tool content, and we're reviewing and demoing a lot of these tools, so you don't want to miss out. We've actually done demo videos on most of these tools already so far, so you're going to want to check those out. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, if you use a similar tool to this or any of these other tools, leave a comment down below letting us know what you use and what you thought about it. Or if I missed something or I left something out, leave a comment down below. And if you found this video interesting or useful, you might want to give me a thumbs up. But that's about it for today. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on that next video.